The life of Apostle Paul, early life. Saul was born in the ancient city of Tarsus into a devout Jewish family. From an early age, he was immersed in the study of Jewish law and scriptures, laying the foundation for his later life. Saul, dressed in traditional Jewish robes, learned from the renowned teacher Gamaliel in Jerusalem, embodying his dedication as a Pharisee. Persecution of Christians. Saul's zeal for his faith led him down a path of intense persecution against the early followers of Jesus Christ. With an intense and determined expression, Saul forcefully dragged early Christians from their homes. Determined to eradicate what he saw as a dangerous sect, he stood by, approving as an angry crowd stoned Stephen, the first Christian martyr. His face reflected his belief in his righteous mission. Conversion on the road to Damascus. Everything changed for Saul on the road to Damascus, where he experienced a divine encounter that would transform his life forever. In a dramatic depiction, Saul fell from his horse, struck by a bright light from heaven. His face was filled with awe and fear as he heard the voice of Jesus. Blinded and confused, Saul was led by his companions into Damascus, his once confident demeanor replaced by helplessness and uncertainty. Ananias and Saul's healing. In Damascus, a disciple named Ananias, guided by God, restored Saul's sight and introduced him to the community of believers. Ananias laid hands on Saul, and miraculously, scales fell from Saul's eyes, symbolizing his spiritual awakening and physical healing. Saul was baptized by Ananias in a humble setting, surrounded by a small group of early Christians, marking his acceptance into the faith he once persecuted. Early ministry and escape from Damascus. Saul, now known as Paul, began preaching with great zeal, facing both acceptance and danger. Paul passionately preached in a Damascus synagogue, with listeners' reactions ranging from amazement to anger, reflecting the divisive impact of his message. Under the cover of night, Paul was lowered in a basket through a city wall, narrowly, escaping those who sought to kill him for his bold preaching. Journey to Jerusalem and meeting the apostles. Paul's journey took him to Jerusalem, where he met the apostles and continued to boldly proclaim his new faith. Barnabas introduced Paul to the apostles in Jerusalem. Their cautious expressions revealed their initial skepticism of the former persecutor-turned-preacher. Paul preached boldly in Jerusalem, undeterred by the threats and plots of the Jewish leaders who saw him as a traitor to their faith. Missionary journeys. Paul embarked on several missionary journeys, spreading the gospel across ancient cities and facing numerous challenges. Paul and Barnabas traveled through various ancient cities, preaching to diverse crowds with passion and conviction, leaving a lasting impact on many. In Philippi, Paul preached to a small congregation of new believers. The historic setting added to the sense of a significant moment in the spread of Christianity. In Ephesus, Paul addressed a large crowd, his words resonating powerfully, leading to significant changes within the city and the hearts of its people. Arrest and imprisonment. Paul's unwavering dedication to his mission led to multiple arrests and trials, but he never ceased to proclaim his faith. Paul was arrested in the Jerusalem temple, with an angry mob threatening him. Roman soldiers intervened to prevent a riot, leading him away in chains. Paul stood trial before Roman governors and King Agrippa, boldly proclaiming his faith and defending his mission. Despite the potential consequences, journey to Rome and final years. Paul's journey to Rome was fraught with danger, but his determination to spread the gospel never wavered. Paul's ship was caught in a violent storm, leading to a shipwreck on Malta. The scene was filled with dramatic waves and the chaos of the wreck. Under house arrest in Rome, Paul wrote letters to the early Christian communities. A small group of visitors listened attentively, soaking in his teachings. Martyrdom. Paul's life ended in martyrdom, but his legacy continues to inspire countless believers. In a somber scene, Paul faced his execution with calm determination. His serene expression contrasted with the grim task of the Roman executioners. Early Christians read Paul's letters, their faces reflecting the inspiration and encouragement they drew from his words. His legacy endures through his writings. Conclusion. From a fierce persecutor to a devoted apostle, Paul's transformation is a powerful testament to the grace and power of God. His journey from persecutor to apostle stands as a beacon of hope, symbolizing grace and redemption. Modern believers reading Paul's letters find their hearts touched by his timeless message of faith, perseverance, and the transformative power of God's love. The life of Apostle Paul reminds us that no one is beyond the reach of God's grace, and that through him we can find our true purpose and calling.